Hi, I'm Yara. I've always been the reliable one, the planner who never misses a deadline and keeps everything running smoothly. At least that's how it used to be before everything went sideways. 6 months ago, I had what most people would call a perfect life. My husband Derek and I had just celebrated our 5th anniversary with a weekend getaway to the coast. He surprised me with a beautiful diamond bracelet that probably cost more than our monthly mortgage. That's the kind of guy Derek is. Always generous, always charming, especially when other people are watching. You've been looking tired lately. Maybe you should take some vitamins or something, Derek suggested one morning while I was dragging myself out of bed. I'm fine, just busy at work, I mumbled, though truthfully, I felt like garbage. The fatigue had been getting worse for months, along with weird stomach pains and dizzy spells. By week 3 of feeling like death, I finally made an appointment with Dr. Carter. Your blood work looks normal, Yara. Probably just stress and perhaps a bit of anxiety, Dr. Carter said dismissively, barely looking up from his computer. I can prescribe something for that. But what about the hair loss? And I've lost 8 pounds without trying. Many women would be thrilled about that last part, he chuckled. Let's try some anti-anxiety meds and see if that helps. I left with a prescription and 0 answers. The meds only made things worse. That's when my brother Ethan stepped in. We've always been close, ever since our parents died in a car accident 10 years ago. Ethan is the only real family I have left, besides Derek. You look like crap, sis, Ethan said bluntly when he came over for dinner. What's going on? Dr. Carter thinks it's just anxiety. Bullshit. You don't get anxiety. You make other people anxious with your ridiculous level of organization. That's what I told him, but he won't listen. Ethan put down his fork. I'm getting you in for a scan at my hospital. Tomorrow. Derek won't like it. He thinks I'm being dramatic. I don't give a damn what Derek thinks. This isn't normal. The next day, Ethan snuck me in during his lunch break. Being a radiologist has its perks. Hold still, he instructed as the CT scanner hummed around me. 30 minutes later, I was sitting in his office when Ethan walked in, his face ashen. What? What is it? Cancer? My heart was pounding. No. Ethan's voice was cold, controlled rage. It's heavy metal poisoning. Arsenic, most likely. The pattern of accumulation, this isn't accidental, Yara. What are you saying? Someone's been poisoning you, systematically, for months. That's impossible. Who would... Ethan turned his computer screen toward me, showing the scan. These white deposits shouldn't be there. This explains everything. The fatigue, hair loss, stomach issues. Someone's been slowly killing you, Yara. I stared at the screen, my world collapsing. But who would do this to me? Ethan looked me straight in the eyes. Who has access to everything you eat and drink? Who suggested those vitamins you mentioned? Think about it, Yara. And suddenly, I knew. The perfect husband. The perfect life. The perfect lie. I couldn't stop staring at the scan. My hands were shaking. How can you be so sure it's not some weird environmental thing? I asked Ethan. The concentration pattern is unmistakable. This is deliberate, Yara. Look at these hot spots. Ethan pointed to several bright areas. Someone's been adding small doses to things you consume regularly. Coffee, tea, supplements? Derek makes me a protein smoothie every morning. Says it'll help with my energy levels. Ethan's jaw clenched. We need proof. I'm staying at your place tonight. He'll know something's up if you suddenly sleep over. Then we'll set up cameras. I've got a buddy in security who owes me a favor. By that evening, we had tiny cameras installed in the kitchen, living room, and my bathroom medicine cabinet. Ethan's friend Marcus helped us hide everything perfectly. These feed directly to your phone through this app, Marcus explained. Military-grade encryption. No one's finding these babies unless they tear the house apart. I spent the night at Ethan's apartment, nervously watching the feeds. Nothing happened until morning when Derek entered the kitchen at 6:30 a.m., his normal routine. Holy shit, I whispered as we watched him pull something from his sock drawer, carefully measure a white powder and add it to my morning smoothie. He stirred it thoroughly, making sure it dissolved completely. Got him, Ethan muttered, recording the footage. That son of a... Why? Why would he do this to me? Money? Affair? Who knows? Keep watching. 2 days later, we got our answer. I was supposedly at a doctor's appointment, but instead, I was sitting in Ethan's car down the street, watching the house. Derek's sister, Melissa, arrived, which was weird because she never visited when I wasn't home. We picked up their conversation through the kitchen camera's audio. "How much longer, Derek? This is taking forever," Melissa complained. "Doctor says her kidneys are still functioning. Gotta be patient. The policy pays triple for accidental death, and nothing if you divorce her. We need this to look natural." "I know the terms, Melissa. I'm the one who set it up. $2 million, split 50-50. Just stick to the plan." I felt sick. Not just from the poison, but from the betrayal. "I'm calling the police," Ethan said. "Not yet. We need more. And I want to know why Dr. Carter kept dismissing my symptoms." The next day, I marched into Dr. Carter's office without an appointment. "I need to speak with you. Now." "Yara, I don't have time for—" I slammed my CT scan results on his desk. "Heavy metal poisoning. Arsenic. Ring any bells?" His face went white. "How did you get these?" "My brother's a radiologist. The real question is why you ignored classic poisoning symptoms. 3 visits, Dr. Carter. 3? I didn't think—" "Or did Derek call you? Did he tell you I was just being dramatic? Maybe slip you some cash to keep quiet?" Dr. Carter looked away. "He's a major hospital donor. He mentioned you had mental health issues, hypochondria." "Well, guess what? Your donor has a $2 million insurance policy on me and has been poisoning me for months. So, congrats. You've been aiding attempted murder." I pulled out my phone and showed him the video of Derek doctoring my smoothie. "Oh, God," he whispered. "Yeah, oh, God is right. Now you're going to help me catch him, or I'm taking this straight to the medical board." "Your choice." Dr. Carter fidgeted with his pen. "What do you want me to do?" "Document everything and keep treating me like nothing's changed." I left his office and immediately called my best friend, Natalie. We've been tight since college, and she's the only person besides Ethan I could trust completely. "Someone's been what?" Natalie's voice exploded through my phone. "Poisoning me, Derek, and I need your help catching him." We met at a cafe across town where I showed her everything. "That two-faced snake. I knew something was off about him, but this is next-level psycho. I need to play along until we have enough evidence. Make him think his plan is working." Natalie leaned forward. "I'm a makeup artist, remember? I can make you look sicker than you actually are. Pale foundation, dark circles, the works." "Perfect. Meanwhile, I'll swap out my smoothies and anything else he gives me." "What about the cops?" "Not yet. We need more. And I want to know how deep this goes." For the next week, I pretended to drink the poisoned smoothies while actually dumping them in a special container Ethan gave me for testing. I took activated charcoal tablets in secret to help clear my system and wore Natalie's makeup enhancements to look increasingly ill. Derek was buying it completely. He even started being extra attentive, bringing me soup, checking on me constantly. The kind of husband everyone would think was devoted if they didn't know he was actually monitoring his murder progress. "You're doing great, babe," he'd say, kissing my forehead. "Just rest." The breakthrough came when Natalie spotted Derek's car outside an apartment complex while driving home from work. "Guess whose Mercedes I just saw parked at the Lexington Apartments?" And he wasn't alone. Natalie had snapped photos of Derek with a tall blonde woman entering an apartment. "That's Sophie," I said, recognizing her immediately. "She works with Melissa at the insurance firm." "Want me to follow them next time?" "Absolutely." 2 days later, Natalie and I sat in her car with a parabolic microphone pointed at Sophie's balcony, where she and Derek were having drinks. "When are you going to leave her?" Sophie's voice came through clearly. "Soon. Very soon. Once everything's settled with the policy." "I'm tired of being your side piece, Derek." "Baby, you're not a side piece. You're the main event. Yara's just a business transaction at this point." I felt nothing but cold determination hearing this. Every betrayal just fueled my resolve. I've got a plan, I told Natalie as we drove away. Derek and Melissa are hosting that charity dinner next Saturday. Everyone will be there. Their friends, colleagues, the hospital board. Perfect place for a public takedown. Exactly. But we need to be smart about this. I spent the next few days compiling everything. The poisoning videos, medical reports, recordings of Derek with Sophie and Melissa, and documentation from Dr. Carter, who is now cooperating fully to save his own skin. What if he tries to deny everything? Natalie asked as we finalized our plan. He won't get the chance. I've got something he doesn't know about. I pulled out a small vial from my purse. A sample of the exact poison he's been using. Found it hidden in his golf bag. You're scary good at this, you know that? Amazing what motivation you find when someone's trying to kill you. The night of the charity dinner arrived. I wore a stunning red dress, Natalie's expert makeup making me look both elegant and noticeably frail. You sure you're up for this? Ethan asked as he adjusted his tie. He'd be my +1 tonight instead of staying home sick, as Derek thought. Never been more ready for anything in my life. We arrived fashionably late. The ballroom of the Grand Hotel was packed with the city's elite, including the entire hospital board. Derek was at the center of it all, playing the devoted husband to anyone who would listen. My wife is so brave, fighting through her mysterious illness. I overheard him telling the hospital's chief of medicine. Such a mystery indeed, I said, approaching them. Feeling much better tonight, though. Derek's smile froze for a millisecond. Yara, you made it. I thought you were resting. Couldn't miss your big night, honey. Melissa appeared, champagne in hand. Yara, you look better. Amazing what happens when you stop being poisoned. The color drained from both their faces. What an odd thing to say. Derek laughed nervously, putting his arm around me. The medication must be making her confused. I moved to the center of the room and clinked my glass. Can I have everyone's attention, please? I'd like to make a toast. The room quieted. Many of you know I've been ill lately. My husband has been so concerned. I gave Derek a smile that didn't reach my eyes. So concerned that he's been documenting my decline very carefully. I nodded to Natalie, who started the video projection we'd set up earlier. The footage of Derek adding powder to my smoothie played on the wall behind me. Gasps echoed through the room. That's not what it looks like, Derek stammered. Oh? And what about this? The next clip showed his conversation with Melissa about the insurance policy. Derek lunged for the projector, but Ethan stepped in his way. Touch it and I'll break your arm. $2 million is a lot of money, isn't it, Derek? I continued. Dr. Carter, would you mind explaining to everyone how you helped cover this up? Or should I? Dr. Carter looked like he might throw up. I made a terrible mistake. You ignored clear poisoning symptoms because my husband paid you off. The hospital board members were already huddled together, whispering furiously. Yara, baby, please. Derek approached me, his voice suddenly soft. This is all a misunderstanding. I love you. I'd never hurt you. Save it. The police have copies of everything, including the arsenic found in your golf bag. Matches exactly what's in my system. As if on cue, 2 police officers entered the ballroom. Derek Williams, we need you to come with us. Yara, please, I'm sorry, Derek begged as the officers approached. I made a mistake. We can work this out. I stepped closer to him, my voice ice cold. The mistake was mine, forever trusting you. There is no forgiveness for trying to murder someone you vowed to love. The officers led Derek away in handcuffs. Melissa tried to slip out the back, but another officer stopped her. Melissa Williams, we have some questions about your involvement in an insurance fraud and attempted murder case. 3 months later, life looked completely different. Derek was awaiting trial with no bail, facing 25 to life. Melissa had made a deal with prosecutors to testify against him, but still lost her job and reputation. Dr. Carter was suspended pending a medical board investigation. I moved into a new apartment, finally free from the poison that had been killing me slowly. My health improved every day. To new beginnings, Natalie said, raising her glass at our housewarming party. Ethan clinked his glass against mine. And to never ignoring your instincts. I smiled, looking around at the people who truly cared about me. To survival and justice. What would you do if you discovered someone close to you was deliberately causing you harm? Would you expose them publicly like Yara did? Or handle it privately? And is there any betrayal so severe that it's impossible to forgive, no matter how sincere the apology? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and perspectives might help someone else recognize toxic relationships in their own life. If you enjoyed this story of justice served, hit that like button and subscribe for more compelling revenge stories that show the triumph of survivors over those who tried to break them. New stories every week.